My wife put me in one of those, and I thought it was the greatest thing. I need to do this. Everybody should do this every week. It's really expensive. You know what it is? My wife lost a cystic fibrosis. One of one is actually still alive. The other one has it. I haven't heard back from my just one of the most terrible. Good. My wife did.
Yes. So what's the time?
Place the bridge next around this time next year. Her parents are the best. Okay, so it's not done.
Good evening. Welcome to County Council meeting April 7th, 2022. Mr. Lott, will you lead us in the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ms. Embo, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Brown.
Here.
Mr. Kuzic.
Present.
Mr. Giovanni.
Here.
Mr. Gofredo.
Here.
Mr. Heckman.
Here.
Mr. Lott.
Here.
Mr. Myers.
Here.
Ms. Vargo Hefner.
Here.
And Ms. Zirinsky is not present. All present except Ms. Zirinsky.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 17th, 2022, please?
Motion. Second.
Who was second? Mr. Giovanni. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We have proclamations tonight, and I understand the county executive probably has some of the same proclamations. So we would like to give those. I'm not sure if they're all going to be here or not. So I'm just going to go in order of the names that we have, and if we're here, then we'll step up and do it. So the first person I have to present is to Patrick Gilhool from Liberty High School, and Mr. Lott will come forward to present that.
They have the proclamation. Where are they up there?
And if you would come up here and join us. Jen has your proclamation.
Stand.
Hold on a minute. I think we have some more folks coming in.
Okay. Okay, I guess we're going to start the proclamation, and with great honor, this proclamation recognizes Patrick Gilhool, and he goes to Liberty High School. Whereas Patrick Gilhool completed for Liberty High School swimming was a 2021 U.S. Swimming Scholarship All-Athlete and finished his 2022 season of individual events undefeated in the 100-yard backstroke and the 100-yard butterfly. And, whereas the 2021-22 season, Patrick Gilhool captured the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association, PIAA, District 11 3A championship in both events, and reset his own District 11 meet record by over 2 seconds in the 100-yard butterfly, and set a new meet record in the 100-yard backstroke. And whereas went on to win the gold in both events at the PIAA state championships, with times in both that qualify for National Federation honor roll. was named Boy Swimmer of the Meet overall. And whereas Patrick holds the record time for both events in East Penn Conference, finished the season ranked 3rd overall recruit in the state of Pennsylvania. Now, therefore be resolved that Northampton County Council recognizes efforts and dedication of Patrick Gohal and wishes him years of success at Boston University. Congratulations. Quite amazing.
Stay here. I got one for you, too. So this is a bit of a point of personal privilege for me. Patrick and my son started out going to I don't know if they remember this, but daycare together when they were about 4 years old, and they've recently become friends again. And my son Luke is a swimmer, but he is not half or even a quarter the swimmer Patrick is. He tells me that. I don't think I'm saying anything that would offend him. Patrick is truly exceptional, and it is my great honor to present him with this proclamation tonight.
If your parents want to take pictures, they can come up and do that unless they got them all already.
Take pictures?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, let's go stand in so that she can get everybody, all the council members.
Kevin, you could get in there too. If you want.
Yeah, where's Kevin? He's hiding.
He's hiding. Congratulations,
Yeah,
Patrick.
congratulations.
Next, we want to honor the Liberty High School boys 200-yard freestyle relay team. Are they here?
They're on their way up. Coaches,
Pardon me? They're on their way up in the elevator?
Yeah.
All right. I'll just keep going. Is Aubrey Kraser here from Easton Area High School? We want to acknowledge her as a wrestler that won states, the female wrestler that won state. Gold, there you go. Is Sean Kinney here? Sean Kinney is a wrestler from Nazareth Area High School.
And who may this be?
Do I have to start over? Oh, is this Aubrey? Come on down.
Price is right. I can go this way. No, I can't.
This is the wrestler. Yeah. You can tell by his look.
Look at, she should just take on this whole council. You go, girl.
Funny seeing you again. Proclamation recognizing Aubrey Kreitzer, Easton Area High School. Whereas Aubrey Kreitzer competed for Easton Area High School in pioneering in girls wrestling and finished the 2022 wrestling season undefeated at 106 pounds, compiling a record of 9-0, 5 pins. I'm not messing with you. 1 major and a tech fall. Whereas on 2021 wrestling season, Aubrey Kreitzer captured the My House, Pennsylvania 106-pound girls state wrestling championship. Whereas Aubrey Kreitzer has won the statewide title as a freshman at Easton Area High School, who, despite her young age, has shown dedication, determination, intensity in her love of the sport. Whereas Aubrey Kreitzer has been wrestling for many years, and her performance will help movement, encourage, and full sanctions of wrestling by women in Pennsylvania Interscholastic PIAA. Let's cut it off. Now, therefore, it be resolved that Northampton County Council recognizes the effort and dedication of Aubrey Kreitzer and wishes her continued success in girls wrestling. Congratulations, young lady.
Thank you.
Hey, Luke, Exec's going to give you something.
Going home with lots of stuff tonight. We can't express to you how much we are proud of you for all of your accomplishments. And we are very grateful that you're here tonight to share those with us. Thank you, Aubrey. This is your certificate.
Thank you.
You got a picture? You got a picture?
Sure.
You in the
can
middle.
stand between us.
Yep.
A rose between two
That's
thorns.
exactly what I was thinking.
Now, you can put that next to your varsity I gave you.
There you go. Congratulations. Is our 200-yard freestyle relay team here? Have them come on down. Mr. Lott?
No.
Okay, this proclamation recognizes Liberty High School boys 200-yard freestyle relay swim team. Whereas Liberty High School's swimming fielded a team made up of Patrick Gilhold, senior, David Lair, junior, Malcolm Collins, sophomore, and Alderson Collins, senior, to swim both the 200-yard medley relay and the 200-yard freestyle relay. Whereas this relay team captured the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association, PIAA, District 11 3A championship in both events, setting new district records in the medley relay. And whereas went on to win gold in the 200-yard freestyle relay at the PIAA state championships, finishing second in the medley relay with times in both events that qualified for the National Federation Honor Roll. And whereas the relay is made up of 4 students who finished no less than 4th place in their individual events at the District 11 meet, and all four ranked in the top 20 of the East Penn Conference. Now, therefore be resolved that the Northampton County Council recognizes the efforts and dedication of Liberty High School Boys Relay and wishes Patrick and Alderson well in college this fall. Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
So swimming fan here again, and I got to watch these guys swim specifically in a meet and then at districts. They are so fast. It's amazing, and they're just such tremendous athletes, and it is a real honor as a swimming fan to be here to be able to present them with these certificates. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Here's one for all of you.
You want to get a picture?
Sure, let's get a picture.
Wide angle.
Your mom was
No.
That'll be fun. I like that one.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Are you going to swim the 53?
Thank you, guys. Great effort and dedication.
Congratulations.
You got to get there.
Sean Kinney, is Sean Kinney here? Sonny Sasso from Nazareth Area High School. These are both individual wrestling champions. Brandon Klutlos, come on down.
Proclamation recognizing Brandon Klutlos for Notre Dame Green Pond High School. Whereas Brandon Klutlos is senior competing for Notre Dame at the 132-pound weight class, compiled a record of 41-9 with 18 pins, 5 majors, and a career record of 151 and 28 for his high school career. Whereas during his 2021-2022 wrestling season, Brandon captured the district, regional, and state titles for the state of Pennsylvania, medaling for the 4th time at the state championships in his 4-year career, and has been named the Morning Call All-Area Class 2A Wrestler of the Year. Now, therefore be resolved that Northampton County Council recognizes the efforts and dedications of Brandon and wishes him years of success as he attends Rutgers University. Congratulations, Brandon.
Coach wants that picture.
I've been lauding swimming in Northampton County and the excellence of swimming in Northampton County. We're a statewide, if not national, power in wrestling. We really are, and you are an exemplar of that, and we congratulate you.
Get that, Coach. Hold up, Lamont. Coach got to get a picture. Okay.
Congratulations.
Is Holden Garcia here? Holden Garcia?
JP.
Yeah. Congratulations. Thank you.
Proclamation recognizing Holden Garcia for Notre Dame Green Pond High School. Whereas Holden Garcia, junior, competing for Notre Dame, in the 160-pound weight class compiled a record this year of 38-7 with 14 pins, 5 majors, and 1 technical fall. Whereas in the 2021-22 wrestling season, Holden captured the district, regional, and Pennsylvania PIAA state title at the 138-pound weight class. Whereas throughout his high school career, Holden Garcia has consistently shown dedication, determination, and intensity. Therefore, be it resolved that Northampton County Council recognizes the effort, dedication of Holden Garcia and wishes him a successful senior year.
Whether it's Notre Dame or Easton or Nazareth or any of the Saucon Valley or any of the other powers, we are so grateful to be able to come and watch nationwide class wrestling. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. What are you going to study?
Probably finance. It's terrific. You may not know this. Coach Harris. I think so.
Congratulations.
Is Nathan Desmond here? The Bethlehem Catholic High School boys wrestling team? Just acknowledge them. They were the state champions as well as Mr. Desmond. Ryan Crookham.
Do you want me to take the list while you're sitting there?
Yes, because I'm taking care of the hometown.
Okay.
You can join me.
Where's all these names at? Oh, boy.
Here, let's come up. You want to come here? Whereas Ryan Crookham, a senior competing for Saucon Valley High School in the 138-pound weight class, compiled a record this year of 16-0 with 6 pins, 4 majors, and 2 technical falls, and a record of 116 wins and 3 losses for his high school career. And whereas in the 2019, 2020, and 2022 wrestling seasons, Ryan captured the district, regional, and PIAA state champions, winning the state championship every year in his class he has competed in the 120 and 126-pound weight classes, this year in the 138. And whereas through his high school career, Ryan has consistently shown his dedication, determination, and intensity. Now therefore be it resolved that Northampton County Council recognizes the effort and dedication of Ryan Crookham and wishes him years of success as he attends Lehigh University. Yes!
Thank you very much.
So I've been, Ryan doesn't know this, but I've been following his career for a long time because he's gone all over the country and won wrestling tournaments all over the country. He went to grade school with my son, so that's where I became interested in his career. Ryan, you're a fantastic wrestler, obviously winning all over this country, including dominating in Pennsylvania, so congratulations. Thank you.
All right. Your mom wants a picture.
Good luck in that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And
Okay. It's not too often I get to step in as the vice president. Saucon Valley boys wrestling team. If I'm not mistaken, they won 2 2A state title in District 11. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Is your coach here too?
Well, what's he doing back there? Come on up, Coach. Come on up, Coach.
I owe you a debt
Represent
of
Colonial League.
gratitude, you know, because you talked my daughter out of going to NYU in 9th grade. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And now this, it's also,
I'm out the way.
you lead a good class and a good team. Saucon Valley High School wrestling team, coached by Chad Shirk. Saucon Valley High School boys wrestling team consisted of Jackson Albert, Landon Bekowski, Mason Bekowski, Zoe Coronado, Ryan Crookham, Ty Census, Ryan Gilbert, Aiden Grogg, Cole Hubert, Jacob Jones, Dante Mahaffey, Kale Markle, Jack Maruchak, Hector Mateo, Connor Nicholas, Tyler Fitzenmeyer, Travis Riefenstahl, Ava Reel, Jared Ron, Liam Skrivanik, and Leo Zaharakis?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Where's Leo? I love it. Whereas they wrestled and they ended their regular season at 11-1, capturing the Colonial League title, and Coach Shirk has been named Pennsylvania Wrestling Coaches Association Class 2A Coach of the Year, and Morning Call's All-Area Class 2A Coach of the Year. And whereas in the 2021-2022 wrestling season, Saucon Valley captured Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association's AA state champs by defeating Notre Dame Green Pond by a score of 29-22. Now therefore, be it resolved that Northampton County Council recognizes the effort and dedication of the Saucon Valley wrestling team and its coaches.
Gentlemen, other than a county executive race or two, I've never won anything. I am in complete awe of your greatness, and it's something you will be able to carry with you for the rest of your lives. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's it.
We have one more thing.
Can I say something? Huh? Can I say something about the wrestling?
Sure.
With all the people that just came through, I think it's appropriate to give a little bit of context. There's 14 weight classes, 28 total with AA and AAA, and not only District 11, but Northampton County was responsible for almost 25% of those gold medals that we brought home. And both the AA and AAA state finals for the team tournament were made up of Northampton County wrestling team. So not only are we the greatest wrestling state in the country, but we are the greatest wrestling county in the greatest wrestling state. So.
And
Along with that, we got the first female champion.
And while we honor you and all your achievements, you would all not be where you are today if somebody didn't drive you to practice and feed you and buy those shoes. So I'd like all the parents here to just stand up, and all the coaches that are here tonight, because without you, these kids wouldn't be here. So we want to congratulate you as well. Thank you very much. Yes, it's a lot.
You guys don't have to stick around for the meeting now. You can leave if you want.
Unless they care about government, but if you don't, now would be the time to go.
And again, congratulations to everybody.
Aww.
That's the coach.
And next we have courtesy of the floor. And there's only one person who signed in, and I will get, if there's anybody else who came after, I have the sheet, I'll call you after, but Mr. Stephen Barron Jr. signed in. Could you state your name again for the record, your address?
Stephen Barron, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Hello, members of council. I am here today. You have on your agenda a resolution for America 250 Pennsylvania. The county executive was kind enough to appoint me to be the county representative to that board. And I've been working very diligently with Jacqueline Victor from that organization, who is in charge of engagement. The resolution you have before you tonight will be passed in the similar part in Lehigh County. My counterpart over there, Fadia Halma, which some of you know, and I will be doing a press conference with America 250 PA later this month to kick off the initiative in the Lehigh Valley. We have some great things that are going to be happening. If you remember from back about maybe 10 years ago, they did the Mule Project for the canal systems and the coal industry in Pennsylvania. For America 250, they're going to be doing bells across Pennsylvania. We are going to be looking for artists to decorate our bell. It's a little bit more portable than the Mule. So the program will be, or the bell will be exhibited in various community centers here in the courthouse and throughout the county. Lehigh County is going to be doing the same. We're looking for a partnership for artists to do RFPs through Arts Quest. So we're leveraging the community partnerships we already have. We're also lucky to have other anniversaries during 2026. It's the 100th anniversary of the placing of a modern blast furnace in the city of Bethlehem. It is also the 200th anniversary of Lafayette College. To commemorate the 200th anniversary of Lafayette College, we are going to be planting a Liberty Tree there through an initiative of the Pennsylvania Freemasons. Each county is getting a Liberty Tree, and since the Marquis de Lafayette was a Mason, we figured there's some synergy there, and it's the 200th anniversary for the university. Another program we're going to be doing is bronze bells are being cast to commemorate the 250th anniversary. And we are going to be working to acquire one of those bronze bells, hopefully with some work of the city of Easton, to be placed where our initial courthouse or original courthouse was that rang out on July 7th, 1776. We're going to put another bell down there. Our Liberty Bell can't exactly travel and weather the storms anymore, so this one will hopefully be there to stand the test of time and mark the ringing on Election Day to call people down to our original courthouse to hear the Declaration of Independence read for the first time outside of the city of Philadelphia. So that is the update on that now. I hope you would consider and pass that resolution so we can keep moving forward. The resolution also puts together a committee, 4 appointed by the county executive, 3 by your august body. We look forward to kind of moving forward and working to have lots of hands to kind of usher this in. Also in April, there is at the Kimmel Center in Philadelphia a reception to kind of kick things off. It's a fundraising opportunity. If members of council are so inclined to attend, I can give you details on that. There is a cost involved, but it goes to donation to the cause. For the celebration of our country's 250th birth. So I'll be here to answer any questions, but thank you for your time, and I hope you consider passing the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Bear.
Are you going to be bringing any other Masons into that program?
So the Pennsylvania Freemasons do that. There will be an opportunity through the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania to be able to be, part of that. They are sponsoring the program outside as part of their community service. As you know, I am a brother Mason, Mr. Derninger as well, Mr. Myers. So we figured since the Marquis was was a very, very famous Mason with General Washington, it worked very well to put the Liberty Tree there.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak at courtesy of the floor? Come down and just state your name and your address, and you get 5 minutes when you start, but she wants it for the record. Thank you.
Sure. Good evening. My name is Kelly Grimm, and I reside on Gapview Road in Nazareth in Northampton County. Thank you for, first of all, for acknowledging all those teens. It brought back a lot, as my daughter is a graduate of Notre Dame Green Pond, and she'll be thrilled to hear the good things that all these students from all these schools. And I will say that that is the best part of your job, I'm sure. It's a tough one, and thank you for your service. I appreciate, too, that you'd let me come with something that's not on the agenda yet, but I hope that we can move forward at some point when we provide you some additional information. And I'm speaking of my neighbors as well that received shock in November, December. I'm from a state where municipalities communicate with other municipalities and neighbors. And so a borough purchased a plot of 80 acres of land to begin putting sludge and biosolids on. So maybe we're 30 years too late to some degree, but if you go back 50 years, people were smoking a nice little plant called tobacco, and women didn't think there would be a problem if they smoked while they were pregnant. Move forward, we see what's happened. We certainly Roundup raised its ugly head when we thought we had something that killed the bad weeds and made our grass look good. So there's many things that have come and gone throughout the years that we've discovered weren't good. And while we in this country struggle with why there's so much cancer and why there's so many other illnesses, we're very concerned about this matter. I will say that I appreciate, and we very specifically picked this area and where we live in Plainfield Township because you seem to have a very strong respect for open space, preserved land. Your Office of the Controller Initiative review that you did in October of 2015 was very, very informative, but I didn't see anything that really addresses this sludge and toxic waste being put on farmland. I would like to, as a taxpayer, say I don't mind that our money goes towards preserving farms. That's why we moved where we did, because most of the time, this should be done in an industrial area where there's not such residential. And I sat in, or virtually sat in on a meeting listening to the DEP give some issues. I realize we got to start in our township. It's a county issue, it's a state issue, and by far, sadly, it's a federal issue that needs to be addressed. So definitely, we need to bring forward some suggestions and solutions and ask for your assistance, and you will see that from myself and the many neighbors, unfortunately, are much closer to where the damage can be done. And I'll send you some backup material so that you at least know going forward what is being talked about. But it's a very serious matter. I'm a cancer survivor. Many people, you don't know how or where you got it from, but in your water, in your food, we've learned a lot in the last 50 years of what we thought was good and right. And once again, I will say, because I'm assuming that you won't see your residents coming forward, as I recently heard a solicitor call it coming forward with their gripes. We're very serious about health, welfare, and the well-being of our own families and those surrounding us. And I certainly would like to see some harsher guidelines and some things change, and we are reaching out at the state level, but I know that we'll be asking for your input in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak to courtesy of the floor? Same name and address, please.
Hello, I'm Millie Bean, and I live at 6299 Howard Road. I've been here a few times before, and the concerns about the Howard Farm that was sold to Nazareth Borough Municipal Authority is still an ongoing struggle for us. They bought this, and unfortunately, did a right to know, found out more information that they started this earlier last year. They were assessing the property because they knew they were going to had lined up to sell the property down there in Palmer for warehouses. Now they came up and bought the farm next to me, out my side door, all of our homes. We had a group, we did an online with DEP today at Mario Scavella's office, and Ann Flood was involved, Mario Scavella was involved, myself and some of my neighbors were online, as well as a couple of us were there at the office. So Tim Craven is the Northeast coordinator for the biosolids permits on farms. There was a Robert Sachs that I'm not sure exactly what his position is, but he was in on this meeting. Tim Craven, like I said, and some of my neighbors. And he started to, said they would do this to explain the program to us. Well, we know quite a bit about the program, but it was good. It was good. And he tried to say the things that they did and about the biosolids and the Class A, Class B, all the different things, what was allowed, what was not allowed. The hard part for me is there's so much material involved in this. It's just overwhelming how much information is out there about this program, and how the Ellsworth Borough Municipal Authority could think that they could come and buy this farm, a preserved farm, to put their biosolids on. And I was here a couple weeks ago when their solicitor came here for a meeting to have their property, the taxes reduced, because it's an authority. So they don't have to pay tax on the property. So they came here, the solicitor, and came to your, forget the name of the term, Revenue Appeals Board, to have the taxes reduced on this property. They were $2,000. It's a very low assessment because it's a farm. It's been there for, a long, long time. It's got a low assessment, but they're allowed to not pay taxes. But how they would think they would be able to come and buy this land before it was evaluated. It has a lot of slopes. The rain that we've had right now, it runs across this land, and there's a big deal about stormwater. Well, we came by on our way here today, and my husband says to me, well, look at the Howard tributary going across the yard and down the back, and which flows all the way down to the neighbors, down to their ponds, and then down to the little Bushkill. When it rains hard. There's so many issues that were never evaluated with this farm for them to purchase it. It just, I can't tell you how angry I am that they could even not have to have it evaluated and think they can just come in there and get a permit and be able to put their shit next to my home and all of my neighbors. And it is toxic. They have to put a sign up when they spread it that you can't go on the land. You're not supposed to go outside your home. You can't go out and grill outside. You're supposed to, they got to send you letters. They got to let you know that they're doing it. Maybe they, see down there in Palmer when they did it, they had a big open field, nobody around, nobody complained. So I really have a struggle with the fact that first that they would do this without notifying any neighbors or anybody, the township, the Farmland Preservation, or anyone else, and think that it's okay right outside our back doors. So it just shouldn't happen. So that's why when Kelly was telling you some of the things we're concerned about, regulations, what can be changed, and we're going to do anything and everything we can to try to stop them. And we're not sure how to do that yet, but I've been here before, and I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to courtesy of the floor? Mr. McClure, do you have a report for us this evening?
A brief one, ma'am.
Tonight, we got to see the very best of our youth in Northampton County, and I think we can all be assured that our futures are very bright with these kids growing up in Northampton County. But I would be remiss if I did not say to the friends and family of Brianna Bear and Abigail Kaufman how deeply sorry Northampton County is for the loss. And it is my fervent prayer that they rest in peace. I made several promises to the people of Northampton County. One is that I wouldn't raise their real estate property taxes. I haven't. I promised them that I'd cut their real estate property taxes. I have. We did 8.5% or 1 mil. I promised them that we would support small businesses to the tune of $25 million. And when we're done very soon with that program, it will be almost 2,000 small businesses that have received grants from our program, helping them survive and thrive. I promised them that we would continue to fight to preserve farmland, open space, and environmentally sensitive land to contend with warehouse proliferation. We're doing that. Just in the last 3 years, we added 297 acres and 3 county parks. 3 county parks. I don't know of anyone else who's done that. We are approaching our 250th farm preserved. We will probably hit that milestone this year. And we are approaching our 20,000th acre. We're keeping the promises that I made to the people of Northampton County. I also made another promise to them. And that promise was to keep Gracedale county owned and operated. Gracedale now, as you know, because we talk about it all the time, faces 2 existential threats. One is the 4.1 PPD, which may be not a cumulative PPD throughout the day. So now we can add all 3 shifts up to get to whatever the number is we get to. The regulation that's proposed is 4.1 all day long. The other is CMS's potential change in regulation to go from 4 to 2 in a room, which would render Notre Tower obsolete. However, we are working through legislative and regulatory bodies in order to contend with those potential outcomes. But Gracedale has been saved before, and it can be saved again. And what I'm going to be proposing to you in very short order is that when we receive our $30 million in the second installment of the ARP money, that we commit $15 million of that ARP money to save Gracedale, that we push our chips all in the middle. And it will be my proposal to you that we spend $12 million to address nursing costs, that we spend $2 million to build an on-site daycare center, and $1 million for capital projects. If it can be saved, we will save it, and we're going all in to do it. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. McClure? Thank you. Next, I'd like someone to make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss possible litigation.
Motion.
May I have a second? Could we please take a voice vote? Pardon? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay.
No. I thought it was all. Of course. Jermaine's suing them. They're gone? They're gone. They went to executive session. They're talking about you.
Hey, they're not the last, and they're not the first and not the last to talk about me. So it's okay.
Are you coaching next year?
I am.
Oh, no, I know. At
ESY.
oh, all right, okay.
Yeah.
What do you coach?
Football. Your youngest is still playing there, right?
I have 2 young ones playing there.
Oh, really?
Playing the Pee Wee level and one on the varsity level. So I have the 10 to 12-year-olds. And then the other one plays on the 8 and 9-year-old team. So, yeah.
See, I was pretty sure you were crazy, but now you've just confirmed it.
I'm telling you. They're fun now at that age. You still teach them. The tough team is the flag team. Little ones are the flags.
There are some guys who will not referee those games. I basically, my only job, I'd say to the coach, I'd say, give me your nose tackle. I'll line them up. I take 2 steps off.
Right.
That's the only job I want to do when I ref those games.
Yeah, as long as you line them up and you just let them play, that's fine.
I tell Racino all the time, I said, we're going to do a flag game. You got to tell the guys we're working with. The flag game, I just want to be the guy in the defense, watching everything come at me. That's all I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's like herding cats.
Yep.
Somebody
you should
tried
see
to
the
make
practices.
Oh, I can imagine. Somebody's picking
unbelievable.
daisies.
Yeah.
We had kids that they would wear their wristbands. And so the 2 kids were wearing their wristbands and they were like moving them around and trading them. One kid was throwing it around. But that's how the team would like organize themselves. I think it was Wilson. So they would organize themselves. And the kids wouldn't wear their wristbands. I said, I don't know if it's better to have like 12 kids and have like 1 kid on the sideline you have to usher in.
Yeah.
Or have like 30 kids with wristbands and having to call in like different teams.
That's unbelievable. Those little ones.
What's that?
That's a great idea. We're going to jail. We should come too. That's a great idea. Yeah. You don't have to worry about the dress though, we'll make sure they keep you.
Very same argument before
I'll wear an orange shirt tomorrow.
I told you, your uncle complained about.
What?
What your uncle complained about.
Why is Ken my uncle?
So they're going to have to comply with the farmland preservation.
How is he my uncle?
But we're not going to know. Unfortunately, you're going to suffer.
And I'm way shorter. If I was related to him, I'd
I
be
don't
much
look like
taller.
any of my uncles, and I'm taller than them.
They've done soil tests. They've done, I've got the reports.
The law's really not
Tons of
understanding.
stuff.
No, it's not. Just like eminent domain, I mean, we changed the law in Virginia. It took us 2 years to change the Constitution.
You don't listen to me.
There's bigger problems.
Yeah, so the Supreme Court said they can take your land if there's good for economic development.
Exactly.
A private entity.
But we can change things at the state level.
Yes.
And at the county level, because the taxpayer dollars
There's
are
nothing we can do.
preserving.
I tried. I'll tell you what I did.
So
When I got elected,
Rich Johnson is listening right now. He sent me a text message.
when I got elected, I tried to make it a criteria to get into the farmland preservation program that you pledge not to use it. It's illegal. I can't do that. So all I could do was get a voluntary. That they check that they pledge not to spread. If the law's not our side, we've got to get it changed.
But we got to start at the state then.
Oral laws, well.
How is there's an observatory like behind the house where you live, right? Is that weird?
Yeah, it's like
What is it?
I have no idea who owns it. I have no idea that either.
Yes.
Just people looking into his backyard.
It's like a telescope or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what the story is.
It's just not the best place to put it.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Well, and what I'm wondering is, so certainly the laws that the authority goes by. Loose
There you go.
because all of a sudden.
Has good taste in ties.
Came up with after they came and spoke like Griswold.
He's wearing pink though.
No, I had pink on yesterday.
Yeah, Wednesdays we wear pink.
You know, can they stop the graphic?
And I say like Tony. Monday he wears blue.
Oh, that
Tuesday
movie
he
is
wears green.
That movie is so good. That's right. Tony has colors for specific days. I forgot about that.
He's regimented.
And so we are already talking state.
He comes to harass me when I help him.
Well, watch how they vote though.
Yeah, well, his kids, because his kids like.
Watch how they vote when they're in Harrisburg.
Oh, I know.
They'll tell you one thing and then vote
I've
another.
been on both sides
Yep.
of the,
Equation.
of the dais, yeah. So I'm recovering.
You know all about
and
it.
And I thought, let's make sure what's possibly be okay. But it's not okay.
No, it's not.
And so we will be looking for support, but we've got to bring some solutions of what we can change.
I think getting a good case in front of this Supreme Court might make a difference.
Yeah, and certainly it makes a big difference what we did in Virginia, you know, our district attorney was on our side as well, than the law was. The thing that has to
So you can see it, because most people don't see that side.
Don't serve no purpose.
I know, that's great.
Well, not for,
I agree with you.
not for nothing, they took by eminent domain a piece of land 21 years ago, wait for 20 years, and then sell it for $53 million.
And there again, they took it because they needed it to dislodge it.
Who appoints the authority? Is it the borough?
The borough council.
And then
does.
21 years later, they can sell it for a boatload of money.
What are the
because
authority
they don't
terms?
need it.
Don't,
They're probably 5 years.
yeah, they're 5
State
years.
authority.
Yeah.
Well, there's a way to,
Oh, no,
it's slow,
but
but that's a way to do it.
And there's, you start at the council, and I will walk those doors, and we will get the right people in.
After all the cycles done, they took.
While I have you,
How convenient. Now 21 years later. Somewhat. Boatload of money, because they don't need it anymore. Then come up and buy a farm next to me.
I share your outrage.
Go to,
You're not wrong to be
they have
angry.
3 other municipalities where that they service.
from your office,
So I would like to see that they can only
2 weeks
do
in
it
advance
where they
at least,
serve
before the
sewer,
primary, so we
but,
can get the
you
payroll.
know, I get it.
The constables who are gonna be at the polls?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So were they getting it in on time?
they were getting them late, and then it winds up being everyone sent them from
There's no question that we have to
and
truck it.
So maybe we should, maybe I can have Janelle send out an email to them.
as early as we can.
Yeah, to tell them,
Especially
Good
this year because
solutions,
right.
and, you know, maybe we
So
should,
what
it's
do you,
time for
you want it,
states
what, 2 weeks in
everywhere
advance?
to rise up, there's enough
At the
people.
very least, we
in
have to
all
have it
these
2 weeks to
other
have the check requests
states
for them.
Okay,
And
So, you know.
Gotta get the right
2 weeks.
Farm Act changed.
okay.
And I
You know,
think,
if we had it
I
next week or
believe
so,
the
that'd
Supreme
be
Court
better.
will look at this issue differently.
I know how that could be a little.
So you doing the check request?
They didn't
So,
buy it for farm.
We do the check request.
Well,
before.
they
before, okay.
And if they're
well,
not
no,
there, the judge won't get it.
Right, they won't get the check at, okay,
They
gotcha.
have
We
to do
return the
something
check,
else.
but then the person needs to
I do.
pay.
Okay, so if they plan on being
their
at polling
solicitor
spots, we need
is
their
very adamant that this
intention
is
3
an
weeks
act
in
of
advance.
farming.
Well, then we'll
Well,
see what happens.
Okay, I'll have her send something out. Actually,
Right in this chamber, when I was.
write them down so I don't forget.
The whole purpose of it.
Pierce? Oh.
I know.
So let's just see how it goes. I've got to know all the checks that have been written to that.
Yeah, I'll get that out. I'll have her get that out, and then, I'll have her copy you. Who else? Is Amy?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Amy's taking over. So I'll have her copy Amy. Okay. All right, she's acting now, so I'll have her copy Amy on it. So then we're all the same.
It's new, Linda.
3 weeks.
Same old, same old?
They should be able to do that. I mean, if they're gonna be there, they should be able to do it 3 weeks in advance. That's not a problem. So we'll get it out to them. And then I'll just have her do that for all the elections. For all the other elections, we'll just continue doing that and make that part of the process. And I'll send something out to them.
Yeah, he is, yeah, well, yeah, no.
Let me know.
That'll be on tonight, huh? No, never tell the truth. When it's short, it's always longer. That's it.
I remember coming in here, 11 things on the agenda.
And going like that. Yeah.
But, you know, those are different days.
Yeah, they're different things now. Oh, man. Let's see. How's it going, Linda? Yeah.
know, me too. Seems that way, huh? Oh. We'll see. Is this?
Is your husband home?
Yes, he is. And always there. Our front and our husband. And so British are always sending me photos of cars. That have been so practical so that I can see them until they're done.
Molly, well, at least Molly gets to see all the signs. Do the girls know it's coming?
Well, I'm telling you that my parents are pretending to think they it's over. You're using so today, I agree with that. It's too traumatic. Breaking all of that settle and stay. And it's a liquid that is
Do you remember from children sorry, Mike. Did you do a promposal, Mike? No. Really? I went to extravaganza. Yeah. They did this thing like where they were talking about trying to recruit people by opening versus recruiting people.
Yeah.
I thought it was the most ridiculous thing. Yeah. I said I was yelling across the driveway, and I said, I'll give you a first round pick for 2 of my third round picks.
I'd like to call the meeting back to order at 7:29. Would you state the action?
County Council met in executive session in reference to litigation and no action was taken.
Thank you. Next, we have, under old business, a public hearing of an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Authorizing Preparation and Submission of a Declaration of Taking, and related documentation for a portion of the lands of Liviu Victor Rusu." Mr. Myers and Mr. Cusick introduced this ordinance at the March 17, 2022 meeting. Are there any questions or comments from the public? Seeing and hearing none, is there any discussion from council? Yes, Mr. Cusick.
I would just ask if our Public Works Director could give us a sense of the timeline and where this project is going, because I know council approved the contract a year ago.
Yes. Correct. So this all dates back to it's around this time last year when the easement paperwork went out to the property owners at Bridge 8. So we're approaching a year now. This is kind of a unique situation in all the probably 100 or so easements that I've obtained on the P3. Usually when there's kind of an issue, it's generally related to the compensation. But this property owner really just has an objection to the bridge being replaced at all. He just wants it removed and not replaced, which is not an option for the township. They say it's critical for their public works department to be able to maintain Cressman Road. So we are proceeding with the designed replacement.
Yeah, and I would just add, the other part of it is you have farms on Coffeetown Road, Cressman Road, and Robsville Road. Situation we have now is you have tractors that are going out onto 611 in order to circumnavigate this bridge that has been out now for 3.5 years. So I look forward to the process moving forward. You had mentioned something about the utilities. Have those been resolved?
We are just waiting on Verizon at this point, but MedEd, I believe it was, came out and installed the new poles, so it's just a matter of Verizon relocating their facilities to the new poles.
Okay, thank you.
I feel like it's Tuesday morning all over again. Is there any further discussion?
Nope.
Okay, call for the vote.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo?
Yes.
Mr. Heckman?
Yes.
Mr. Lott?
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner?
Yes,
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 8-0.
thank you. Is there any other old business to discuss at this time? Seeing and hearing none, we'll move into the new business. First, we have the consideration of personnel request resolution, court administration. Mr. Heckman, will you introduce the resolution?
Yes, because we had this at a previous meeting in terms of a discussion. I'm going to read, because there's a few different things here, so I think I should read the entire resolution so it's very clear. Resolved by Northampton County Council that one full-time position of court reporter, pay grade CN 24-1A, salary $45,136, shall be eliminated, and one position of chief court reporter, pay grade CS 23-1A, salary $50,545, shall be created in the Department of Court Administration effective the 7th day of April 2022. It is further resolved that one full-time position of clerical technician 2, pay grade CN 13-1A, salary $27,200, shall be eliminated, and one position of clerical specialist, pay grade CN 17-1A, salary $32,703, shall be created in the Department of Court Administration, Domestic Relations Section, DRS, effective the 7th day of April 2022. It is further resolved that two full-time positions of support technician 1, pay grade CN 15-1A, salary $59,650, shall be eliminated, and one position of support technician 2, pay grade CN 16-1A, salary $31,230 shall be created in the Department of Court Administration, CRS, effective the 7th day of April, 2022. It is further resolved that one full-time position of Deputy Director of Pretrial Services, pay grade CS 27-1A, salary $60,764, shall be created in the Department of Court Administration, Pretrial Services, effective the 7th day of April, 2022. It is further resolved that one full-time position of Pretrial Administrative Case Officer, pay grade 22-1A, salary $45,127, shall be created in the Department of Court Administration, Pretrial Services, effective the 7th day of April, 2022. It is further resolved that 5 part-time positions of youth care workers, pay grade YC 18-1A, salary $85,608, shall be created in the Department of Court Administration, Juvenile Justice Center, effective the 7th day of April, 2022. The financials are attached. Mr. Green is here. I'm sure he'd be thrilled to answer any questions anyone may have. So moved.
Thank you. Are there any questions? We did discuss this 2 weeks ago.
Yes, reports and corrections.
Call for the vote.
Mr. Heckman.
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo.
Yes.
Mr. Lott.
Yes.
Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni.
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you. Next, we have the consideration of sign-on bonuses for the Juvenile Justice System Workers Resolution. Mr. Heckman, will you introduce this as well?
All right. Whereas a crisis exists at the Northampton County Juvenile Justice Center regarding difficulty in attracting and hiring qualified youth care workers to meet the staffing needs of the NCJJC due to inability to provide competitive wages. And whereas without a full complement of staff, the NCJJC cannot continue to maintain its detention and treatment inventory, as the NCJJC will not be able to meet the staffing requirements set forth by Pennsylvania Department of Public Welfare regulations. And whereas without a full complement of staffing, the NCJJC will not be able to meet its contractual obligations to accept out-of-county detention referrals, thereby significantly reducing revenue to Northampton County. And whereas to avoid an economic hardship, the NCJJC shall be authorized to offer a $3,000 sign-on bonus for new youth care workers, payable $1,500 upon employment and $750 after 3 months of employment, and a final $750 after 6 months of employment. And whereas funding for these bonuses payable by the NCJJC shall be paid from the existing NCJJC personnel budget. Now therefore be it resolved by Northampton County Council that the NCJJC is authorized to offer a $3,000 sign-on bonus for new youth care workers, payable of $1,500 upon employment, $750 after 3 months, and a final $750 payment after 6 months of employment. And all funding for this resolution shall be made from the existing NCJJC personnel budget. And you have an administrative order attached signed by Judge Barada, I believe, yes. And so moved.
Thank you. Are there any questions regarding this resolution? Yes, Mr.
Just because this has already been filed and we're just re-administering it, bringing it back out, because this was issued in what, 17? Am I correct reading that? The stamp? That we had to redo this?
November of 2021, yes.
Okay, so only thing we're doing is bringing it back to make sure we can that we're in line with what was already ordered.
Is that that's accurate?
Yes, do you want to speak to this, or?
No.
No.
It,
Correct. It was Judge Galley presented this back in November of 2021, said that the court was intended to do the sign-on bonus because we have difficulty attracting candidates. This was one of my first steps to attract candidates. This is something I asked Judge Barada to do as the administrator of the Juvenile time to start attracting candidates and trying to get some people in the door. And so far, it's been, and 3 people have got the bonus at this time right now. So we're just trying everything to get some candidates there. So that was the first step. My second step was, now getting a part-time position to get a different candidate pool to see if we can attract candidates there. And then, the last step is, discussing the salaries. And, it's my understanding that, the executive branch is discussing that, and I'm hopeful to hear something soon from them so we can work together to come to a resolution, because this is a Band-Aid for me. This is what I'm thinking, it's a Band-Aid, but I just hope we can come to a resolution together, to save the Juvenile Center. Just like we want to save Gracedale, we want to save the Juvenile Center as well. So that's all.
30 plus employees you're down, right?
30.
We need you at the mic, Tremaine, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still the same. We're holding at 33 vacancies right now, 24 employees. So we have 24 youth care workers out of the 57, and I have 5 supervisors. I have 1 vacancy on the supervisors, which are like the lieutenants at the prison. So right now, that's what we're operating with. So we're at that level right now that we need some help, like I said, on the 16th. I don't want to go through that again with you guys. So, but we're holding at the 33 vacancies right now, so I hope it stays there. And I know there's a couple candidates who are interested for the part-timers positions that you guys just approved. So that's promising. So hopefully we can get them in as fast as possible. We'll get the paperwork to Human Resources and get the PANs up there once we can get all their clearances done, because that's going to take time as well. They have to go through all the clearance, the FBI check, child abuse check. They have to do all the fingerprinting. So that's going to take a couple weeks to get that process done. So we're hopeful. We're hanging in there. And again, I'm just hopeful that we can all work together to find a permanent solution to this. So I thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Anything else? Call for the vote.
Mr. Heckman?
Yes.
Mr. Lott?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you. Next, we have the consideration of a memorandum of understanding with AFSCME District Council 88, Local 1265 Resolution. Mr. Giovanni, will you introduce this?
Excuse me, can I address the last issue real quick?
Yes.
So the administration wants to thank you for giving the money for that, but also wants you to know that the union negotiations are ongoing, and that has to play a part in all of this.
Go ahead.
No, I think we're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Tom, will you read the MOU? Thank you.
I will. I'll read the whole resolution. Whereas Northampton County Charter, Section 202, provides that the county council shall have the power to approve any collective bargaining agreements with officers and employees. Whereas on March 28, 2022, County Council received a memorandum of understanding between Northampton County and the American Federation of the State County and Municipal Employees District Council 88, Local 1265, regarding reclassification of certain positions. See Exhibit A and. Whereas the reclassification results in the following position upgrades. Number 1, 1 full-time position of a real estate assessor. 1, pay grade RU-14-2B, salary $30,581, shall be upgraded to pay grade RU-17-1A, salary $33,603 in the Department of Fiscal Affairs Assessment, effective the 7th day of April, 2022. Number 2, the 2 full-time positions of real estate assessor 2, pay grade RU-18-2B, salary $73,536, shall be upgraded to pay grade RU-20-1A, salary $77,160 in the Department of Fiscal Affairs Assessment, effective the 7th day of April 2022. Number 3, the 2 full-time positions of Real Estate Assessors 2, pay grade RU-18-6F, salary $87,692, shall be upgraded to pay grade RU-20-5E, salary $92,016 in the Department of Fiscal Affairs Assessment, effective the 7th day of April 2022. Now therefore it be hereby resolved by the Northampton County Council that the memorandum of understanding shall be approved this day, 7th day of April 2022.
Thank you. Is there any discussion regarding this matter? I believe we discussed this also at the Finance Committee 2 weeks ago. Mr. Barron presented this, correct?
I believe so.
No, somebody presented this before. I don't know. I heard it. All right, I was dreaming. Anybody have any discussion?
I just have one question, and I apologize if I missed it at a committee meeting, but what is the differentiation between Real Estate Assessor 1 versus Real Estate Assessor 2? Just briefly.
Mr. Gracedale, the positions in the assessment department are promotable based on competency in the position. So an Assessor 1, when they were brought in, was a way to bring people in from the inside that had no experience. Those positions, that position was never upgraded or looked at, meaning that when we hire someone who's a clerical person from within the county, they would take a pay cut to take this position to hopefully pass the tests to be able to become an Assessor 2. An Assessor 2 is someone who has passed all the state certifications to assess property in our assessment system. Assessor 2 in Northampton County is a residential assessor. When you become an Assessor 3, which is not included in this MOU, but they are union positions, you then can do residential and commercial property. So that's why we're upgrading those positions to bring that into the market standard. And since we used to hire people from outside right into Assessor 2 positions, we don't do that anymore. We hire from within. This makes people more able to be promotable and makes these positions, which they are promotable.
Thank you.
Madam President, can I ask a question while you're there? How many assessors do we have?
There's been a lot of changes, so let me count the desks. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else? No. Call for the vote.
Mr. Giovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Lott.
Yes.
Mr. Myers.
Yeah.
Ms. Fargo Hefner.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Mr. Gracedale.
Yes.
Mr. Heckman.
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you. Next, we have the consideration of America 250 PA Commission Creation Resolution. Mr. Lott, will you introduce this resolution? Oh, well then, let's see. Thank you.
Whereas Northampton County desires to perform an overall study of the performance of, am I in the right one? No, it's the other one. I'm sorry. I got it right now. Whereas Pennsylvania legislature and governor created America 250 PA in 2018, the plan encourages, develops, and coordinates commemorative to the 250th anniversary of the United States and Pennsylvania integral role in the event and the role of its people on the nation's past, present, and future. Whereas America 250 PA hopes to engage all Pennsylvanians, all 67 counties through their many signatures and official recognized programs, projects, events over the next 5 years by inspiring future leaders and celebrating all Pennsylvanians' contributions to the nation over the last 250 years. Whereas by adoption of America 250 PA, 4 pillars of the EPIC will hope to educate, preserve, innovate, and celebrate. Now, therefore, be resolved that the County of Northampton hereby endorses America 250 PA and their mission to educate, preserve, innovate, and celebrate every Pennsylvanian in every county. Be it therefore resolved that the County of Northampton officially establishes America 250 Northampton County Commission, made up of a diverse group of 7 citizens to work with America 250 on any and all activities within Northampton County. The participants of Northampton County Commission will be strictly volunteer roles. There will be no compensation for the participation, and 4 will be appointed by the executive and 3 appointed by Northampton County Council, and that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to America PA Commission.
Any discussion or question?
I think Mr. Barron said earlier quite well.
Have you chosen anyone yet for the commission? Do you have, other than Mr. Barron, to lead it?
So Mr. Barron, obviously, and we have asked Maurice Luker from Lafayette College to participate because he's intimately involved in the planning of their anniversary, and Miss Megan Van Ravensway of the Northampton County Historical and Genealogical Society, and we're looking at a 4th person, probably from Bethlehem, who is in the Historic Museums and Sites arena, if you will.
Thank you. Anything else? Call for the vote.
Mr. Myers?
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo?
Yes.
Mr. Heckman?
Yes.
Mr. Lott?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you.
Is there a time we have to get somebody for this?
Pardon me?
Is there a time we have to appoint somebody for this?
Is there a timeline on this?
Mr. Barron, to get people appointed to you?
The sooner the better. We plan to start work over the summer and hopefully have a first meeting in the summer, but we have till 2026, so.
Well, we won't wait that long. Thank you.
2026.
Next, we have the consideration of Gracedale study resolution. Mr. Cusick, will you introduce this resolution?
Sure. Whereas Northampton County Council desires to perform an overall study of the performance of the Gracedale Nursing Home, and whereas Northampton County Council seeks the following topics to be reviewed, including but not limited to determining how well Gracedale is meeting the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and State Department of Health standards for long-term care facilities for both care and facility management, an analysis of revenue and expenses, including recommendations on ways to maximize revenues while lowering expenditures, a fact-based determination of employee morale and input from employees to improve morale across the facility, and provide council with a plan to address any shortcomings in order to create long and short-term plans for Gracedale to continue to serve the needs of Northampton County residents. And whereas Northampton County Council wishes to request competitive proposals for the performance study at Gracedale through the use of a request for proposal, now therefore be it resolved, Northampton County Council requests that the procurement office prepare and create a bid process and award a contract to a qualified bidder regarding Gracedale Analytics.
Thank you. Is there any discussion regarding this resolution? Mr. Lott, then Mr. Heckman?
Yeah, I was just wondering, are we going to see the RFP that goes out and just,
Yes.
we're going to review all this as it goes along? I know, you know, when it says that, you know, and qualify, you know, they're going to give the contract to the qualified bidder, right, in this document it's saying. So I just would like to see before procurement gives out an award that we see what we're doing here.
We would have an RFP review committee before that would even happen. So when we would follow their procedure, we would get, and we would review them, and then we would select that, and then we would vote again to make that happen.
Right. I just wanted to make sure we were still in the loop. We weren't just turning it over to procurement at this point, almost like the resolution.
No, because we didn't with the auditor, so we're not going to do that with this.
Good. Thank you.
Mr. Heckman?
Would this be the document, usually I see not to exceed a certain amount. Would this be the document that should be on, or would that be on the actual proposal? Because, I mean, when we send things out for things, we say an amount not to exceed, so we're letting people know there's an upper limit on what we're going to pay. Should it be part of this, or?
Well, you could do that.
I mean, I'm just saying it's been my experience that generally if you're going out to do something, you want to put an upper limit. I mean, certainly because when they go out for procurement, I mean, it's going to be, somebody could come in and say, well, I'll do it for 25,000. Somebody say, I'll do it for 425,000. So, I mean, and I know the parameters will be defined, but I had mentioned this to the president when I first read it. I just wasn't sure myself because we're asking for the procurement to put it together. So maybe we don't need to put it here, but it was just, I'm just curious.
And if you would like to offer an amendment, that's a possibility.
Well, I mean, first of all, is there an amount that that we had in mind that we don't want it to go beyond, or maybe we shouldn't even bother putting that in at this time? I'll throw that out. I'm not suggesting we have to do it. It was a curiosity, so I'll put that out for discussion.
I'm trying to remember the amounts that I outlined. That was many months ago. Was it $200,000?
If you're not sure, you can't put it out there.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
That's an alternative, but certainly this is just a request for proposal. You could reject them all if you didn't like the number.
Oh, all right, well, fine. I mean, and that's what I was looking for. I mean, we always, no matter who's coming forward, we always like to put that proviso, and it's like not to exceed. But I accept that. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Amendment? No.
Mr. Brown?
No, I don't have to have an amendment.
That was kind of what I was considering.
Yeah.
Get another look at this thing.
No, I'm fine, Lori. I'm fine with it.
Okay, so accepting, I hear no movement for an amendment, so it would be a vote on it as presented.
Mr. Kuzic?
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo?
Yes.
Mr. Heckman?
Yes.
Mr. Lott?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 8-0.
Next, we have the consideration of a pay study resolution. Mr. Cusick, will you introduce this?
Sure. Whereas in 2007, then County Executive Stofa presented Northampton County Council with a contract to engage the Hay Group to perform a county salary survey. And whereas Northampton County Council desires to engage in a pay study to update the date and suggestions provided in the 2007-2008 study, and whereas Northampton County Council seeks the following topics to be reviewed, including but not limited to a wage comparison across other Class 3 counties, a wage comparison with regional entities of similar size and economics, and a general overall comparison of wages and benefits for comparable positions. And whereas the Northampton County Council wishes to request competitive proposals for the review of the current countywide job compensation system through the use of request for proposal. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Northampton County Council requests that the procurement officer prepare and create a bid process to award a contract to a qualified bidder regarding a study of the job compensation system for Northampton County.
Thank you.
I would just add one thing, and it was pointed out to me that some of the information is obtainable through CCAP for comparable positions. So that may make the process a bit easier than some people have indicated. If we could get their cooperation, probably wouldn't take that long to set up a spreadsheet for something like a CO, which is comparable. So that would work.
And just, I did a little more research, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics also has a department, and it's a Philadelphia-based, so it's regionalized, that they also have that data and a huge data bank, so we could compare and contrast those numbers as well as CCAPs. So that gets us ahead of the game. Any comments, questions? Mr. Lott?
Just basically the same one, but maybe a little more clarified. We're going to see the RFP before it's set out and review that before it's sent out, and we're going to also review what comes back in. I'd imagine what comes back in, but I would like to see the proposal before it's, I think council should see the proposal before it's sent out. Thank you, that's all.
Absolutely. Call for the vote?
Mr. Kuzic?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Gofredo.
Yes.
Mr. Heckman.
Yes.
Mr. Lott. Mr. Myers.
Yes.
Ms. Fargo Hefner.
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 8-0.
Okay, I have a question for Mr. Barron at this time.
Mr. Barron? Mr. Barron.
What's the next step in the timeline in the procurement process?
I will contact you tomorrow.
Thank you. Next, we have a letter to state representatives on behalf of the Pennsylvania Coalition of Affiliated Healthcare and Living Communities, or PACA. PACA had asked counties operating county-owned long-term care facilities to please send a letter of support requesting an increase in the Medicaid medical assistance funding. So I would ask for, there's a copy of the letter here that you've received. I would ask for a motion to send the letter, please.
Motion.
Who's that?
Motion.
Mr. Gofredo, can I have a second, please?
Second.
Mr. Giovanni, is there any discussion or questions? Mr. Cusick?
I just have one quick one, and this is for our solicitor. This was not an agenda item. I know there was a change to the Sunshine Act. Could you please comment on that?
That was going to be one of my concerns in my report. There's been some discussion with members of council about the agenda. We are bound by the amendments of August 31st for the Sunshine Act. I would ask that this be put over and placed on the next available agenda. I think we have an obligation in that regard in reference to the public and their review of what we're doing.
Okay. So then, was there a timeline urgency here, or no? Okay. All right, so do we need to table it, or we just?
We have a motion and a second. It has to be acted on. I'll make a motion to table.
Okay, so then there's no further discussion. Thank you.
We need a vote on the
Call for the
table.
vote to table, sorry. John and Carrie.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Is there any other new business to discuss this evening? Do we have council committee reports? Mr. Lott.
Today, before our council meeting at 3:30, we had a Northampton County Economic Development meeting where we had discovered Lehigh Valley put on a presentation, and we also had what else we have? Oh, what was the name of that? Equilibrium. Thank you. And we also had Upper Mount Bethel manager Ed Nelson speak. All this can be reviewed on a tape. It's all YouTube if you want to go into details. The discovery at Lehigh Valley was very interesting, and actually all the presentations were very good. And I'd recommend, if you're interested, to go to the video and watch them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Heckman.
We had a Human Service Committee meeting before the meeting tonight, and the centerpiece was a overview of the Children, Youth, and Families Division, and Maria Torres, who's in charge, gave us an excellent rundown of what's going on in that division and where we're at, and with placements and referrals, and just the layout and some of the things they're planning to do. We also had the director then give us an update on various parts of the department, and she did mention something that Brian Dunlap is retiring, or leaving, I shouldn't say, not retirement, leaving for another job, and I just wanted to point that out. You know, I think he's been doing a very good job. Also, the loss team suicide prevention that they had started, I believe it was April 1st, I think she said, if I'm not mistaken, and that will be keep notice of that. Also, that there's been discussions regarding drug and alcohol and fentanyl, and that's a very concerning situation. And other than that, she did say, the bright side, but I don't know how bright, we don't know yet. State funding, because I was asked about that, apparently maybe an uptick in certain areas of human services. I'll believe it when I see it, when the state passes their budget. But, you know, if that's the case, great. I hope it's somewhat sufficient. And I would like to say in line with that, I wanted to say with appreciation of what the executive said regarding his idea and plans for the grant, the money. I think that it's a good idea. I mean, just the other day I saw something and it really concerned me. It was I think it's called the Home of Good Shepherd. It's not affiliated with ours. I don't believe it's private, in New Jersey. I believe it's Hackettstown. I could be wrong. And they're closing. It's a community like Moravian and places that they have. They have residential, they have assisted living and so on. But they're closing their 95 Medicaid beds for skilled nursing. And they pretty much said it's economics, that the state can't afford it, even to get the staff. So that has always been something that I've said many times. I even said it when the discussion was being held some 10 years ago about Gracedale, that you know, we could always put in some language in a sale agreement that would say they have to, but you know, I would defer to our attorneys. I think contracts are documents that are made to be broken by a judge along the line. I mean, I think you can always find a way to get out of it, because what's our ultimate, the ultimate curative thing would be to take the nursing home back, and I doubt we would be doing that. So I just wanted to point that out, that it's a real thing. And the woman that was giving the discussion even said, and some of the family members, these are poor people who are very, very sick, and they're scrambling to find places for these 95 individuals. And they'll find them. I know they will at some point, but where? And, you know, when we talk about people in that age category, particularly in spouses, I mean, they may find a place that's up near or down near Cape May or something. I mean, it becomes there's a whole lot of things that go into it when you're dealing with human beings, and that gets beyond the economics. So I'm appreciative. I wanted to bring that out, but I thought it ties in well with what the executive said and the commitment he wants to make, and I just wanted to point that out. So,
thank you, Mr. Myers.
Just to follow up on what my prestigious friend next to me just said, I'm very happy to hear what Mr. McClure's plans are, and it's really exciting to see that we're putting a big smile on what we're trying to do at Gracedale, because believe me, the people that I represent and throughout our Northampton County definitely need Gracedale. And thank you, Mr. McClure, for coming up with that idea.
Anyone else? Any liaison reports? Mr. Giovanni.
On Tuesday, the Information Technology Governance meeting was held. It was virtual. What logistics for the for IT equipment is getting better. Mr. May says they ordered some stuff in bulk and didn't realize it would come that quick, and it's been the logistics has been better. Just an important message. This weekend, they're going to do maintenance on the network for the county, and systems will be down from, I believe, 6 a.m. on a Saturday. It'll be down over the weekend, so that you will not have no access to any network stuff. Also, the multi-factor authentication now is working and set up for vendor support, working for the vendors. That has been going on. And all the new, and the ticketing system, again, a new ticketing system for service desk, which is the replacement is April 25th to go forward. And that's my report.
Thank you. Yep. Anyone else? Kevin?
I attended a prison board meeting, virtual. They're hoping to have our meeting back in action in person next month if all goes well. The prison continues to have no cases. That's very important because the board members go and visit different blocks in the cell and get information from the residents there. So it's been 2 years or whatever since they've done that. So it's really a big part of what the board does. They also deal with grievances, and they do that. We've been doing that virtually anyway because the grievances are written by the residents and them. So currently, approximately, we have 587 residents in the prison. Things are slowly, like I said, returning to normal. All the extended furloughs have been required to come back to the facility. Work release is open as long as the resident is vaccinated. Pinebrook and some of the other services are slowly getting started up. They don't want to hit it too hard. They want to, bring it in slower, but it's starting to get back to normal. They've opened, for example, they've had outdoor recreation, but it's been in very small groups, very limited about the time out there. Couldn't have much time out there because you had a lot of small groups. So now they're going larger groups, which allows more time. They're still bringing their food to the cells. As a board meeting, they had 7,913 COVID tests performed. This is the whole history, 434 positives. There is no current cases now. 629 of the residents were vaccinated. They were giving out 78 boosters. They held 36 clinics.
Kevin, your mic.
In the prison.
Your mic.
Oh. Wow, I'm not going to start again, but boy. That was a big mistake. Thank you. So I hope you're lip reader for the rest of that. Anyway, we currently in the prison is 276 inmates that are vaccinated. And that ends my prison unless you want me to do again. Board, and now if you don't mind, I'll go right into Lehigh Valley Economic Development. We also had a virtual meeting. And it was a board meeting and the annual meeting. The annual meeting you saw a lot on the news, and it's on YouTube, the video, or on their website. They did at the meeting. They did a look. The annual meeting. They did a look back at 2021, the economic trends, development projects, key initiatives, economic data, challenges and opportunities. That's basically what their annual meeting is. You can view that meeting on their website, Lehigh Valley Economic Development Corporation's website or their Facebook. There's some interesting stuff I took away from it. For the 6th consecutive year, Lehigh Valley ranked on the top U.S. regional for economic development. Our GDP in 2020 was $42.9 billion. Of that, $7.9 billion of the GDP was in manufacturing. I thought that was pretty good, almost a quarter, not quite a quarter. But since 2010, Lehigh Valley population grew by 6.2%, making it one of the fastest growing regions in PA and one of the top 25% growth in the nation. More important, and this is very important, the population between 18 and 34 years old grew at 10.7%, making Lehigh Valley the fastest growing region in the state for young people. And now that is going to be, that age group will be and is the largest working generation in our workforce now. I guess people like us are leaving. So I would strongly recommend people check out the video. There's some good information on it, and that ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anyone, Mr. Cusick?
Some of us had the opportunity to attend the CCAP Spring Conference. We had an opportunity to interact with the various state agencies, which was something new this year. I did get my 2 cents into the Department of Health regarding some of the things that have been discussed earlier. There was a broadband initiative. The America 250 PA was presented to us by former Governor Mark Schweiker, so I appreciate Mr. Barron stepping up and getting involved in that. There was a presentation on census and demographics, similar to what Mr. Lott just touched on earlier. I attended sessions on Next Gen 911, reassessment, and we did have an interesting conference regarding the opioid settlement. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but not least, I attended the GPA this Tuesday. The Bridge 41 is in progress and actively being worked on. We had a successful audit. There is still no evidence of the Sprite sign. However, DCED is working with Community Action to obtain a grant from Pennsylvania DCED to begin the housing project. So that's in motion.
Madam.
Yes, sir.
Do you realize in every news report that's done, because I just read the one, they mention that Sprite sign, and it's in somebody's basement or here or there. I'm just fascinated that it's got.
They may have better information than the GPA does, because the GPA has no clue where it is.
May I ask for a motion congratulating Mr. Barron for getting that taken care of for that man who came in here and said he lied to him?
Yes, thank God
that
for Steve
that
Barron,
Mr. Barron is a man of his word.
because if it wasn't for Steve, nothing would have been done. I still want to know where that sign is. And, I guess, Council Clerk.
Just to let you know that the meet and greet with the judges for April 21st has been postponed. And you'll get further details as they come along.
And Mr. Solicitor,
Nothing.
I thought you were going to talk about the sunshine law. Oh, I was waiting for it. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's like a comedy routine with you guys.
I have no idea. What was that? I don't know.